Open Minds is a concept presented to you jointly by TEN, the Entrepreneurs Network, and KYT, Know Your Town, the English edition and Thane's first community magazine from Thane Vaibhav. The intent and the objective of Open Minds is, to help the audience open their minds to different concepts, what is happening around the industry, how you can make use of that knowledge to increase yourself, to improve yourself individually. And for this, what we do is we invite corporate honchos, we invite established entrepreneurs, we may invite startups to share their knowledge, to share their experiences basically, so that we can all benefit. 20 years of his association with the Thane Janata Sahakari Bank transformed it from a local to a global banking institution. It is proudly referred to today as TJSB. He brought about an amazing transformation, multiplying the bank's business by over 40 times. He joined as an assistant general manager in the bank in 1995 and was elevated to managing director and CEO position in September of 2014.
Myself Nikhil Ballad on behalf of TEN and Know Your Town, I welcome you all to the second edition of Open Minds. Well, today we have a man with us who is not just a banker but also a great cricketer. He is as cool as Captain MS Dhoni, and he has led the team TJSP from the front to achieve the pinnacle of success. He has also been able to tackle the scorecard from 500 crores to achieve a target of mammoth 12,000 crores in mere a decade. From leading banks to all the other cooperative banks, all are trying to emulate his success formula. We are very lucky to have him today, this evening. Let us please welcome him once again, the man behind the success of TJSP, Mr. Satish Utekar. Thank you, sir, for being a part of this evening. You're talking about strategy and you're talking about planning, about a plan. So many a times entrepreneurs have a certain plan with them, but often it happens that it is not executed at the lower level or by their workers. So was it difficult for you also? Were the employees rigid to take or accept the vision which you had at that time?
Yeah, it was difficult. I remember in 2001, we made a small presentation about a budget. We were having a total branch network of around 14 branches. So what I thought that let us not sit here in Thane. Let us go outside Thane. We were not having the branch network outside, and our people were always having in mind that we are a local bank. Let us stay in Thane. So that was the mindset. Nobody wants to look for a bigger picture. And then I had taken a conference there at Nasik, at Manas, Igatpuri, we have a Manas resort. So there I made a presentation about that. In by 2007, 2008, we can reach have a business mix of around 5,000 crores. That time our size was hardly 500 crores. So it can be easily achievable. There is a potential. Then it was very difficult for somebody to buy. 5,000 crores was a big figure for them. And then everybody started criticizing us. Then the only option is that to create a documented business plan. For 6 months or almost for a year, it was difficult to sell my all ideas to even my board also. They were saying that this is all means you are dreaming. It is not possible. But believe me, in 2008 we crossed 5,000 crores. That was means economy was having that potential. But the transition was really difficult. But then one instance I'll just share with you, see how the communication is important. And then first of all, what we did while planning, the ownership is passed on to the ultimate to the dealing staff. We form a group of top management, like senior management at the board level, then executive level, and at the dealing staff level. And then we prepared a small booklet asking them, doing a SWOT analysis of the organization.
So usually the reading habits, like if a person is reading a particular newspaper, it is very difficult for him to change his habit to read some other newspaper. Same as pretty much applicable with bank also. Like people have a habit to do transaction with a particular bank. They develop a relationship with that branch manager or so. How difficult it was to change the habits of the people of the customers basically.
In 2001, when we have drawn a plan to become first our target was, the midterm target was to emerge as the strongest local bank of Golden Triangle. Golden Triangle means Mumbai, Pune and Nashik. This is called as the Golden Triangle. So let us emerge as the strongest local bank. And local bank, the definition is that local banks will be easily approachable to the customers. Customers can directly come to you, but offering all kinds of technological and all kinds of services. So that is the concept of local bank. It is not local bank is not offering any services. My bank is the authorized dealer. So we are among 3-4 cooperative banks who are the authorized dealers. So that strategy was adopted, and then we started working on the strategy. Most importantly, the financial parameters we built in such a fashion. You can say the business concept was that the first concept we have drawn that it is always our business will be driven by a bottom line management. Means any transaction, anything, any activity will be doing will be a commercial activity. So it is a cooperative bank. Cooperative bank is only a cooperative bank for the sake of registration. It is not a social organization because we are accepting deposits of the customers, so we should provide them a safety. So it should be our strategy was to bottom line management, and as a result of bottom line management, you will have a top line growth.
So as we know that TJSB has also spreaded in different states. Like presently TJSB is operating in 4 states, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Goa and Karnataka.
Recently when I left, before that it was my commitment to have one more state in the Madhya Pradesh. So we will be starting operation in
Madhya Pradesh as well. So how tough it was to start a business in some other state to adapt to those conditions?
In fact, that is the transition. In fact, Thane Janta to TJSB. When we started opening branches outside, one thing we realized that people don't understand, don't know Thane Janta. And Thane Janta means you have that regional like a bank from Thane, it's a small bank Thane. Like. So the first effort we did that we appointed appointed a brand ambassador, Sachin and Supriya of the brand ambassador. We started from that level, and that was the beginning in 2005, 2006. That was the beginning. Then we changed our logo, and we made an abbreviation of Thane Janta, TJSB. The logo we brought TJSB, and then Sachin Supriya, those were the famous, they were the famous pair in the So then it started, and then we started opening branches outside, we can say, Pune, and we started extending our network. That time we changed, we had taken the effort to change our name as TJSB. There was a lot of resistance from changing name from Thane Janta, because the promoter naturally they have their own feelings for that. But it was a tough time, and we changed it as Thane Janta to TJSB. So when we are in Bangalore, so Bangalore they don't understand Thane Janta, they don't have a space, but TJSB is more popular. Here people sometimes call it as Thane Janta Bank, but there we are a brand, we created a brand, TJSB is a brand. Then second important thing is that, as I said, that our focus was to create a sustainable organization by creating a investor awareness and investor confidence. So we are the first bank to take a CRISIL rating. So we have taken a CRISIL rating 8 years before. Normally the organizations in financial sectors, they are afraid of taking rating. If suppose you have a bad rating, naturally you will not go to the depositors will come to know that it's not a good. And CRISIL is a branch of Standard & Poor's. So they will not give any rating without going through all the details. But we have taken the rating. So that was a plus point for us 8 years before that we are A plus rating by CRISIL. So total investor safety. And then we started presenting to the first branch we opened at Goa. Then the brand is created. A lot of efforts on promotion and advertisement. Means I remember when I joined, there was no advertisement budget in this organization. And then spending a rupee, there were people felt that why should we advertise ourselves? We are a bank and we are lending to people. Let people come to us. So there was no advertisement. We are the first cooperative bank to start advertising. I spent a lot of people in banks.
Good evening, sir. My name is Milan. I wanted to know whether what happened when you increased the salaries of people by 55%. Did the old employees start performing better, or whether you got new people, and what was their impression of the old staff? I mean, did they get demoralized with the old people? Did both of them gel well, or what happened? Was there chaos? Thanks.
Really, very important. I shared with you that when I did a mapping with my own bank's compensation policy with other organizations, what I found it is less than 40% than the organizations I was comparing. And then naturally, you always have a dead stock also. We can call this as a non-performing employee. Like NPA, it is NPE. But then again, to handle these people, again, I personally feel is a very tactful job also. Non-performing employee also, he also wants his own prosperity. Then while doing a manpower mapping, the placement was done in such a fashion that those all non-performing employees were taken to certain systematically the back office operation, and they were given certain jobs like which can be performed by anybody. My experience is that the satisfaction level of the existing employees increased to such a level, I could handle the CIDCO product with them only.
My name is Yogesh Rora. So I wanted to understand that Thane Janata Sahkari Bank, from a regional level to move to a national level, it has been performed some branding activities. So I wanted to know your views on that. That how does branding an entity helps to make an impact on the market?
See, as I said, the transition started from 2000-2001. That time in Thane, people are doing, our people at the board level, I remember the discussions also, that who is going to compete with us in Thane? We are number one bank in Thane and having nearly 30-35% share in banking of Thane. Then ICICI started opening branches and HDFC and all. And then naturally, the film was presented by time that the Podbandar started developing. A lot of people started coming to Thane. So they don't know Thane Janata and all. Even in Thane also today, if you ask TJSG, I bet nearly 50% people may not be doing over the bank. It is only branding and advertisement can reach your customers. So then we thought that how do we reach Thane Janata? People may not know Thane Janata. Then let us start with some exercise. That is why we appointed a brand ambassador.
On behalf of TEN, I, Rahul Amrute, the current chairman, supported by our secretary, Mrs. Sandhya Iyer Bhide, our relationship manager, Paras Shah, and the core team sincerely thank you all for your wholehearted and overwhelming support at the second edition of Open Minds today.
It was a really pleasure to listen to you, and we really gathered a bank of knowledge this evening. That is what we can say. And one thought which I would like to share with you all is there are three types of people in this world. One, who see things happening around them. Two, who wonder things happening around them. And third category is who make things happen around them. We sincerely feel, sir, you fall in the third category. Thank you so much.